Jungsan Sangjanim is the god of Gaebyuk, who incarnated as a human at the approach of the autumn Gaebyuk, the time of heaven and earth's achievement of their purpose. Wielding the boundless power of creation transformation through his supreme authority over the three realms, Sangjanim conducted the work of renewing heaven and earth, and thus remedied all the ills of heaven and earth's dosu. Sangjanim shall bring the early heavens era of mutual conflict and domination to an end through the Sangshirim, and the judgment by the catastrophic disease of autumn's lethal qi. He shall save humanity through the supreme authority of Uitong, and bring to pass the immortal paradise of creation transformation in which the universe will unite into one family. In the later heavens paradise of immortality, each and every household will become a Dojeon. Every person will transform into a divine being as humans and spirits unite their virtues into one, and all of humanity will attain sublime maturation and ageless longevity. So shall be the boundless and eternal immortal paradise of creation transformation. Sangjanim vowed that with the coming of the later heaven, he would descend as a Holy Spirit to the new heaven and earth's immortal paradise of creation transformation that his workers shall raise up. The later heaven's paradise of immortality will be the era of humanity's majesty, in which Sangjanim's workers preside over the Tao governance of heaven and earth within the civilization of omniscience. My Tao is the supreme Tao of mutual life-giving and life-saving. People have sought riches and renown in contests of authority and force throughout the early heaven, for such is the early heaven's legacy of mutual conflict and domination. I shall bring forth the later heaven and its destiny of mutual life-giving and life-saving to build a world in which goodness is the way of life. All nations will practice mutual life-giving and life-saving. Men and women will comport themselves with mutual life-giving and life-saving, and superiors and subordinates, in harmony with each other, will faithfully conduct their proper duties in accordance with their stations. Consequently, all virtues will return to their origin, and the world will become a realm of sublime benevolence and sublime righteousness. The early heaven has been an age of conquerors, in which people have sustained themselves with sin. But the later heaven shall be an age of sages, in which people will sustain themselves with goodness. Which will endure longer, the way of sin or the way of goodness? I have established dosu that shall allow the people of the later heaven to sustain themselves with goodness. Solemn dignity prevailed in the early heaven, but laughter shall prevail in the later heaven. I urge living unpretentiously in accordance with one's true nature, but the old heaven delights in pomp and pretense. I urge that formality be plain and simple, but the old heaven observes convoluted protocols. I urge laughter and joy in engaging with others, but the old heaven promotes solemn dignity. I urge warmth and affection, but the old heaven extols quiet reserve. I urge sincerity, but the old heaven promotes bluff and bluster. I urge harmony and happiness, but the old heaven instigates struggle and triumph. In the coming world, there will be neither superiority nor inferiority of status or occupation, for the world will become a world of great unity, where everything will come to pass as the spirits serve every need, and where warm affection and righteousness will abound, and compassion and love will overflow. The old heaven has referred to this as the world of commoners. In the later heaven, the world shall become one family. People shall be governed by creation transformation rather than by authoritarianism and punishment, and everyone will recognize their own wrongdoings. Governing officials shall be granted the power of creation transformation befitting their stations, so they will never transgress against the bounds of duty and propriety. The trial of aging, illness, death, and burial shall be defeated, and all will enjoy glory and bliss through ageless longevity. your body shall be transfigured, your physique becoming taller and more robust, and you shall be statuesque and splendid. In the later heaven, virtue will be embraced as a fundamental basis from which people will seek all their sustenance, blessings, and glory. You shall behold. The world you behold in the morning and the world you behold in the evening shall differ. Every day and every year shall be different from the one before. The world shall teach you everything. When the storms cease and the dark clouds fade away, there will arise a world in which all take delight in the sight of one another and feel longing and love for one another. In the later heaven, all nations shall live in harmony and peace, and their people shall be free of bitterness, grief, mutual conflict and domination, violence, greed, lust, anger, and all other afflictions that plague the mind. People's voices and smiling faces will overflow with the chi of harmony. All stirring and calm, words and silence will harmonize with Tao and virtue. All shall enjoy ageless longevity. All inequality of wealth will be eliminated, and there will appear in chests of drawers as much sumptuous food and fine clothing as desired. People shall soar high across the sky in cloud carriages as they travel to faraway lands and rugged frontiers, instantly arriving at any destination they desire. The heavens will be low enough for people to ascend and descend freely. Wisdom shall be open to all, so that everyone may attain perfect awareness of the worlds of the past, present, and future, and the worlds of the 10 directions. The 3 disasters of flood, fire, and windstorm shall disappear, and auspicious chi shall abound, transforming the world into a paradise of immortality, with climate pure and harmonious, and landscapes radiant and sublime. In the early heaven, humans have served spirits, but in the coming times, spirits shall serve humans. The later heaven shall be the age of spirits that listen and answer, and spirits shall serve everyone's every desire. One day, upon hearing someone say that Chae Se-un bore deep grief for being born an illegitimate son, and hence devoted his life to eliminating discrimination by birthright and class, Sang Janim declared, "The old heaven has crafted things unsoundly, and thus the bitterness and grief of illegitimate children and of commoners has sickened the world. I shall now eliminate discrimination by birthright and class." Sang Janim further declared, "Seeking out nobility is tantamount to chopping up the bones of your ancestors, and it ushers in the chi of ruination. When you abandon the ways of the nobility and treat the humble with deference, a magnificent age will swiftly dawn. The era in which you sit with your legs folded and pompously nod your head has completely passed, so abandon such decrepit habits. The destiny of commoners shall prevail in my world." A disciple asked Sang Janim, "Whenever you behold the sick, you cannot bear to witness their pain and suffer on their behalf. Why is this so?" Sang Janim revealed, "All diseases are caused by vengeful chi, or invisible causes. Therefore, if vengeful chi is not resolved, it returns to being vengeful chi. And if invisible causes are not eliminated, they return to being misfortune. When I suffer the torment of illness on behalf of the sick, vengeful chi resolves itself, and invisible causes dissolve naturally. Since I shall have suffered all illnesses on humanity's behalf, the world's people will be free of disease in the later heaven." The disciples one day asked Taemonim, "How long will we be able to live?" "In the later heaven, you will all become sublime immortals. Do you think sublime immortals die?" Taemonim proclaimed, "In the later heaven's paradise of immortality, people of great longevity will live 1,200 years. Those of middling longevity will live 900 years, and those of meager longevity will live 700 years. In the later heaven, the sun shall shine every day, and the moon shall shine every night. there shall be no skewed yin and skewed yang. One day, while Sungjanim was conducting a work of renewal at the medicine room, he said, "The medicine for curing an illness is not precious, but the body that never becomes ill is precious indeed. So preserve your body, and do not seek any medicine." On another occasion, while Sungjanim was traveling a road with the disciples, he noticed a silver-haired old man walking with labored steps. Gazing upon the man, Sungjanim asked, "Is it satisfactory for people to live long as that old man has?" "It would be indeed satisfactory to live long lives," the disciples replied. Sungjanim hence declared, "If people are to enjoy long lives, they should do so with impeccable health. Is it acceptable to suffer like that old man? In the coming world, even the most unexceptional will still live 500 years free of illness. In the later heaven, if you scratch your gums gently, your lost teeth will grow back. My world shall be the immortal paradise of creation transformation. Governed by creation transformation, people will be taught without words and edified without effort. My Tao is the Tao of mutual life-giving and life-saving, and so my world shall know neither conflict nor iniquity. The coming world will be a world in which the virtues of heaven and earth are united into one. I shall unite the whole world into one household, and thus will all people become one family, in which harmony abounds, and the saving and nurturing of life becomes a virtue for all. I shall unite language and writing throughout the world, and end discrimination among races. In the later heaven, changes of all sort shall occur by way of unification. The later heaven shall be a world in which spirits and humans become one. Everyone will enjoy ageless longevity, and gazing upon their previous, present, and future lives with perfect clarity, all will feel content with their lot in life. The early heaven is the world of oppressed yin and revered yang. The bitterness and grief of women fills heaven and earth, impeding the course of heaven and earth's destiny. Consequently, colossal catastrophes threaten to burst forth and ultimately destroy the human world. Therefore, if the bitterness and grief of women is not resolved, even the emergence of a preeminent person graced with both a divine nature and scholarly and military virtues will not suffice to deliver the world. Though yin has been oppressed and yang revered, the expression is yin and yang, and so people always say yin before yang. This is indeed peculiar. From this time forth, everything shall be reformed in accordance with this saying. Taimonim conducted a work of renewal in which she declared, "Today I shall reveal to you a vista of the land and lives of the men and women who dwell in heaven's realm of immortals. All of you, turn your eyes to the northeastern sky." The disciples all rose and gazed at the northeastern sky. Taimonim exhaled tobacco smoke from her mouth, and varicolored clouds instantly appeared in the sky and transformed into the shapes of people, forming into the images of male and female immortals. These immortals, clad in splendid attire and crowns of flowers, danced with bliss amid exotic flowers and plants that blossomed everywhere, while red phoenixes and white cranes soared about as if dancing in the firmament. Taimonim proclaimed, "The coming later heaven's paradise of immortality will be as magnificent as this realm you now behold." Taimonim one day declared, "All the work that I conduct is work conducted by immortals. Hence our Tao is immortalism. You shall one day behold immortals with your own eyes. If you cultivate and purify yourselves faithfully, you will all become immortals." She also said, "Only when you become immortals will you finally know your Father." Sungjanim one day revealed, "When I come forth, I shall raise up a place of bejeweled red pavilions, whose chambers shall total 360,000. You shall be seated according to your meritorious accomplishments and accordingly honored by the spirits with finery and feasts. If anyone seats themselves where they do not belong, spirits will seize them by the neck and cast them out." Sungjanim one day summoned fierce thunder and lightning and declared, "On the day that I come forth, thunder will roar and heaven and earth will shake. Those who have practiced insincerely may not die, but there shall be no seat waiting for them. If they try to join the others, they will stumble and fall to the ground. By all means, cultivate your mind assiduously and think of me time and time again." He continued, "Remember my face well. When I come forth, I will be too radiant to behold. People have passed down tales of immortals since ancient times, but these have only been legends, for no one has ever seen an immortal. Only you will gaze upon them." Taimonim said to the disciples, "Cultivate and purify your mind faithfully. All who have iniquitous minds will be extirpated by disease. When you receive high spirits, while the commander spirits of the 5 directions stand arrayed, it will be difficult for you to keep your senses. When the later heaven unfolds in the times to come, the spirits, aware of everything, will not kill those who have failed to cultivate and purify their minds, but they will seize such people by their nape and drag them away from their unrightful places. In your daily affairs, do not lie. Faithfully preserve your true mind. Only by chanting the Teulju mantra assiduously and serving Sungjanim faithfully will you behold a magnificent world." Taimonim often told the disciples, "To reach the later heaven, you must first abandon yourself." Sungjanim said, "People have long sought lands where auspicious stars shine, but such lands are not what they seem, for auspicious stars shine on those who strive for virtue and revere others. Such striving is the path to refuge. Striving for virtue should be as discreet as a sound inside your ears. Correcting your faults should be like breathing through your nose. Strive to forgive others, and boundless virtue shall be yours. To forgive your enemies and love them as though they were your saviors is a virtue that will engender blessings. Your ancestral spirits must be vigorous if you are to follow me, so revere them and honor them with offering rituals. If your ancestral spirits are feeble, you cannot free yourself from vengeful spirits, and hence cannot cultivate and purify yourself with Tao. Your faith in me flows from the devotion and virtue of your ancestors. If those graced with such devotion and virtue stray from my Tao, spirits pull them back, cautioning, you will die if you stray. If those not graced with such devotion and virtue somehow enter my Tao, spirits thrust them forth by their foreheads, declaring, you have no place here." A disciple one day asked, "Why will the horrific disease not afflict the practitioners of Tao who follow you?" Sungjanim revealed, "The commander spirits of the mysterious disease shall arrive in this world bearing a heavenly mandate. So the mysterious disease will not afflict those who are my followers. When the catastrophic disease strikes, you shall save humanity. Once you do so, the people of the world will revere your teachings and entrust themselves to your guidance. From this shall arise the unification of the world. From this shall arise the observance of my supreme Tao of heaven and earth by all the world. And from this shall arise the actualization of eternal glory and bliss." In the early heaven, being dependent on others has led people to ruin. So do not lean on anything, not even the walls of your own room. Do not desire the benevolence of others. Being heavily indebted by the benevolence of others will entangle you in bonds of requiting benevolence and restrain you from acting freely. The beast called failure is one-legged. Two of them must lean upon each other simply to walk. When you depend upon another, you are doomed to suffer failure. One day, Kim Gap-chil asked Sungjanim, "Can a mediocre and lowly person such as myself hope to receive the blessings of the coming paradise of immortality?" With a stern expression, Sungjanim said in a loud voice, "Gap-chil, what are you saying? Now is the age of the resolution of bitterness and grief and the fulfillment of wishes. In this age, conveying my Tao begins with the humble and destitute. Those who are renowned and rich wallow in vanity and complacency, too obsessed with thoughts of increasing their wealth and prestige to think of anything else. How then could their thoughts ever turn to me? Only the poor and the distressed ponder their fate and eagerly await the fulfillment of Tao and establishment of virtue, and their thoughts turn to me whenever the times turn dire. These people are my people." Reform your mind and refrain from sin by finding comfort in being foolish, destitute, humble, and weak. In the early heaven, blessings and glory were sought by esteeming authority and force. Such is the legacy of mutual conflict and domination. No matter how precious something seems, if it is of no use, it is spurned. No matter how meager something seems, if it is of use, it is embraced. Nothing can counter the destructive power of weaponry from the West, and hence I shall ultimately end all war. Therefore, distance yourself from the martial arts and the art of war, and instead devote yourself to understanding Uitong, though it may seem insignificant. If you deliver many people, bonds of requiting benevolence will seek you out, and you will receive everlasting blessings. Resist the onrush of sleep and chant the Teulju mantra countless times. Teulchan Sangwon-gun is the most sovereign emperor of heaven, and so the Teulju mantra shall be chanted in every village and in every school for 50,000 years. The Teulju mantra embodies the Yulyo Dosu. The practice of chanting the Teulju mantra is the practice of becoming an immortal. Sungjanim revealed to the disciples, the correct way to chant a mantra is to preserve a right mind, sit serenely, and apply yourself with sincerity, awakenedness, and faithfulness. If your body trembles and you are trespassed by a spirit of deceit during your meditation, it is so because you harbor impure thoughts and have incurred intense vengeful chi. If you enter into your practice without understanding the correct methods, you will fall into the abyss of confusing dharma. Sungjanim one day declared, "Any mantra is powerful if you chant it with faith." Sungjanim then said, "A maiden who grieved over her lost chance at marriage visited an elderly neighborhood couple who were meditators and asked them for a mantra, intending to cultivate and purify herself with Tao. But the elderly couple had recently been quarreling and were still very agitated, so they replied in irritation, "Don't like anything." The maiden mistook this answer for a mantra and chanted it ceaselessly with ardent devotion, and this annoyed her family. One day, she was chanting as she bore a large jar of water on her head, and her exasperated father struck the jar with a flail he had just used to thresh barley. But though the jar fell onto a rock, it did not break, and none of its water spilled. Sungjanim one day declared to Kim Kyung-hak, "Meditating with one mind is harder than dying." "If that is so, how should I go about doing so?" asked Kyung-hak. "On a day clear, sunny, windless, and peaceful, if you drop a stone into deep water, it will sink straight to the bottom, If you can maintain such a mind for even 1 hour, your meditation practice will have advanced. Sungjanim had Hyeong chant the Chilsungyeong scripture mantra and the Gaebyokju mantra, and furthering his instructions on meditation practice, he said, "Close your outer eyes and open your inner eyes." Hyeong grumbled, "How do I know what inner eyes and outer eyes are? How? I know nothing about inner eyes. I don't know how to open them." "Alas, what can I possibly accomplish with this rascal? Just open your eyes slightly," Sungjanim chided. "Just open your eyes slightly," Hyeong chirped, mimicking him. "Don't mock me, or I'll pluck out your eyeballs. Just close your eyes lightly, just lightly." When Hyeong closed her eyes lightly, leaving a sliver of an opening, Sungjanim said, "That is indeed the way to open your inner eyes." He then commanded, "Now shut your eyes completely." As she did so, Sungjanim said, "That is the way to close your outer eyes." In this manner, he instructed her in detail about such practices. Sungjanim proclaimed, "If you fall into the precipice of darkness during your practice, you will die." Sungjanim also declared, "I summoned the regional spirit of Buon County, but the spirit did not respond." Delving into the matter, I discovered that Shin Won-il was meditating and spirits of that county guarding him would not leave his side. In light of this episode, how can you neglect to meditate? Meditation is indeed that sacred, and thus a true meditation must be undertaken with utmost devotion. Sungjanim one day revealed, "Even death has its appointed hour, so it is improper for that hour to be overdue or premature. Myungbu, acting upon my authority, issues summons, and messengers then bring these people to the court. In accordance with the meritorious deeds and virtues garnered during their lifetime, some people are struck on the nape with a club and dragged into the court, while others are escorted in honor to the court in sedan chairs. After your rebirth in heaven, the most venerable among your ancestors shall teach you everything from the beginning, as they would teach a child to read its first words. Even after people become spirits, they continue to cultivate themselves. Dying does not mean that you immediately become something." The Teulju mantra brings serenity to the mind and spirit, and to the heavenly soul and the earthly soul, allowing one to experience the resplendence of the Holy Spirits and communion with the spirit realm. It is the mantra that will save the world's people. The Teulju mantra is a mantra for cultivating your true mind, so the more you chant the Teulju mantra, the deeper your mind will become. You will be inspired with spiritual power and the power of creation transformation only if you faithfully chant the Teulju mantra. The Teulju mantra is the mantra of finding your roots, and it is the mantra of resolving your ancestral spirit's bitterness and grief and fulfilling their wishes. The Teulju mantra resolves all hindrances. The Teulju mantra vanquishes all illnesses. The Teulju mantra fulfills all wishes. The Teulju mantra proclaims the teachings throughout the world. The Teulju mantra delivers the world's people. The Teulju mantra actualizes all that is willed. The Teulju mantra's power of creation transformation is boundless and eternal. The Teulju mantra is the wish-fulfilling jewel. The wish-fulfilling jewel is the Teulju mantra. Kim Kyung-soo of Hamgyong County vowed to heaven and earth, "I shall without fail accomplish a noble purpose through 50 years of Tao practice." He then immersed himself within this practice. 49 years passed. Only then did Kim Kyung-soo attain a divine revelation in which he received the Teulju mantra and foresaw the arrival of Maitreya Buddha's dragon flower paradise. Afterward, Kyung-soo often visited Gumsansa Temple, the fountain of Maitreya faith, to pray for the advent of Maitreya Buddha and the salvation of all beings. One day, Gyeongsu by chance encountered JeungSan at Gumsansa Temple. He greeted JeungSan, and they spoke at length. Many days later, JeungSan summoned Kim Gyeongsu, and he arrived in Gangmangri village later that day. While eating an evening meal prepared by his wife, Lady Jeong, JeungSan conversed about Tao with Gyeongsu. It was at this time that Gyeongsu presented the Taeulju mantra to JeungSan by chanting it for him. Sangjeonnim one day said to the disciples, Chae-seun's Shichonjuju mantra embodies the 50-year quest of proclaiming my supreme Tao. Kim Gyeongsu received the Taeulju mantra through 50 years of devotion, and the spirit who conveyed it to him proclaimed, "This mantra shall be the salvation of multitudes." Now is the age of spirits, and these two mantras both embody 50 years of devotion. But which mantra's power should be relied upon? Please do as you see fit, Guangchan replied. Since the Shichonjuju mantra has already been drawn upon, Sangjeonnim said, rely upon the Taeulju mantra. I mend and make use of the things of the past, and so humchi shall be added to the mantra, and you shall chant it. Sangjeonnim then added 2 lines, humchi, to the written mantra in such a way as to suggest the bowl of a spoon. Humchi, Teul chon sangwon-gun, humri chi adore, humri hamri sapaha. Sangjeonnim one day declared, after conducting an offering ritual to Shinong, I shall proclaim the Taeulju mantra to the world. On a later day, Sangjeonnim came to An Ne-sung's house and commanded him, offer a feast to heaven and earth this day. He continued, prepare 3 tables of food and present to me an offering of 300 nyang. Ne-sung, who was very poor, expressed his worry to his mother. Mother, my teacher has required an offering of 300 nyang, but I do not even have a single coin. What shall I do? We do not have such a large sum, his mother replied, but I have been saving small sums in a pot. Take it out and count it. Ne-sung counted the money and found only 300 nip. He then informed Sangjeonnim, all I have is 300 nip. I will use the 300 nip in place of the 300 nyang, Sangjeonnim replied. Bring it to me quickly. When Ne-sung brought the money, Sangjeonnim ordered, use this 300 nip to buy rice wine. Ne-sung purchased a huge pot of rice wine at a nearby inn and carried it home on his wooden backpack himself, though the load was so heavy that even a strong young man would have had difficulty carrying it. Ne-sung and his mother prepared the tables for the offering, laying out seasoned vegetable dishes and cooked barley. Sangjeonnim instructed, offer an equal amount of rice wine on each table, and then prostrate yourself and pray in your heart. While Ne-sung was prostrating himself toward the tables, Sangjeonnim seated himself at the middle table and ate the food from the offering. A while later, Sangjeonnim proclaimed, receive the Taeulju mantra. This mantra embodies all the world's sustenance and blessings, life and longevity. With this, Sangjeonnim chanted the Taeulju mantra to Ne-sung 7 times, then had him repeat the chant. Sangjeonnim then declared to Ne-sung, you are now the wife of my Tao. You are the only one upon whom I confer the Taeulju mantra. Chant the Taeulju mantra countless times. You must convey the Taeulju mantra to the world. The Taeulju mantra is the Yulyo of the universe. He also said, dig deeply. You shall die if you dig shallowly, so you must dig deeper and ever deeper. Sangjeonnim conferred the Yulyo Dosu upon Ne-sung. It was in obedience to Sangjeonnim's mandate that Ne-sung would later chant the Taeulju mantra with one mind, without rising from his seat for 3 years. In the future, the world will be cleansed by a disease. All who have iniquitous minds will die, for the disease shall call the world's people. The Tailju mantra shall deliver the world's people. The disease shall be conquered only by the Tailju mantra. The Tailju mantra is a mantra of creation transformation that expels the demon of disease and thus defeats all diseases. The Tailju mantra heals all illnesses. The Tailju mantra is the wish-fulfilling jewel. The Tailju mantra delivers humanity and proclaims the teachings across the world. Therefore, chant the Tailju mantra countless times. The Tailju mantra is the mantra for storing water chi. The Tailju mantra is the milk of the mother, the milk of heaven and earth. So those who do not chant the Tailju mantra will all die. The Tailju mantra is the Yulyo of the universe. The world's people shall be delivered by the Tailju mantra. It is through the Tailju mantra that the heavenly mandate will be fulfilled. If you post the Tailju mantra above your door, the soldier spirits will recognize your house as a house of Tao and pass by without invading it. The Tailju mantra is a prayer to heaven and earth, the mantra that shall save people throughout the world at the time of Gabyuk. When the catastrophic disease strikes at the coming of the time, chant the Tailju mantra constantly to save numerous people throughout the world. Humchi in the Tailju mantra is a plea to the spirits of heaven and earth for salvation. One day during his work of renewal, Sungjanim wrote out the Tailju mantra and asked the disciples, "What does the mantra's shape suggest to you?" "The shape reminds me of a spoon," Gapchil replied. "I shall intermingle the east and west like bibimbap," Sungjanim declared, "and you will partake of it with this spoon. The Tailju mantra is the spoon of sustenance for the later heaven. Those who chant the Tailju mantra are those who are blessed with the destiny of 50,000 years. The Tailju mantra, shaped like a spoon, is the mark of sustenance. If this mark is posted on your houses, the spirits of the mysterious disease will recognize your homes as houses of Tao and refrain from trespassing within." Sungjanim one day had the disciples chant the Tailju mantra, then proclaimed, "The Tailju mantra flows with the milk of the mother, of heaven and earth, so do not forsake this flow of heaven and earth's milk." Sungjanim continued, "If a tree is not rooted into the ground, how can the tree grow luxuriantly, even though the sky bestows upon it rain and dew? If a baby refuses its mother's milk and does not suckle, how can the child hope to live?" Humchi is the sound of calling out to the parents, heaven and earth. It is the sound of humanity calling out to God, like a calf lowing to its mother. The Tailju mantra must be chanted to find your roots. The Tailju mantra is a mantra for receiving water chi. Resist the onrush of sleep and chant the Tailju mantra countless times. Tailchon Sangwon-gun is the most sovereign emperor of heaven, and so the Tailju mantra shall be chanted in every village and in every school for 50,000 years. I have tested the power of the Tailju mantra and the Unjangju mantra, so you must chant them at all times. I have resolved Kim Byung-uk's tribulation with the Tailju mantra, and I have resolved the Janghyo-sun uproar with the Unjangju mantra. Even should one commit treason, the Tailju mantra will open the gate of their prison. Even should one be convicted of murder, the Unjangju mantra will open the gate of their prison. Chant the Tailju mantra countless times. The Tailju mantra must roll around your mouth at all times of night and day, even while you eat and work. You must chant and chant again until the Tailju mantra overflows your mouth.